Well, the only thing worse than having to talk about that match is having to talk about it twice. And since my previous recording of the video disappeared and wouldn't process on StreamYard for some reason, I'm giving it a second go. This time I'm doing it very quickly and live. So it won't take too long. I'll be here for 8 to 10 minutes ish. And effectively, I'm doing it for the VOD, but it saves me a little bit of time going forwards. So, very, very disappointed at the 1-1 draw between Rotherham and Leeds United because it really, really showed that we're a team that can be beaten with relative ease because if we're not on the ball, we're really not on the ball. And it's not good. By the way, because on a rare occasion I'm going to be doing this live, ping your comments in, shout at me rather than the team because I'm actually going to read it. So, first off, we've got to start with what the team news was at the start of the day, and I honestly thought it wasn't too bad. We found out that Jorginho Rutter was fit, which is a massive plus because he is our best player, in my opinion. He's incredibly creative and makes opportunities for everyone around him rather than just himself. I'll get onto that one a little bit later. And in addition to that, Junior Firpo started, and I don't think this was a significant issue. I know there's a lot of people that did, but I'm quite fond of Junior Firpo. I think he always gives what he can, and I don't think he made any huge mistakes beyond what anyone else did in this game. So, into the match, and you can tell that my notes were very, very happy at the start of this game because it started with an early goal for Crescencio Somerville, and I went all caps because I was losing my mind, and it was really good because we were doing a fantastic job of holding the ball really effectively, moving it about, creating chances, and that led to that Somerville goal within 5 minutes. We also had a Joel Pirro chance from a completely open header about 4 or 5 yards out, and he was able to just, in theory, bullet header, ideally into one of the corners, goes in, fantastic, 2-0 up within 5 minutes. Doesn't happen. Instead, Somerville gets that nice early goal. It's brilliantly dribbled. He slots it into the corner. Excellently done. No complaints to be had about that. And ultimately, throughout most of the first half, we were holding the ball really effectively, playing patient football, moving it around, because the game that Rotherham wanted to play was one where they could sit deep and they could invite us on and hope to hit us on the counter, the way that we tend to play against other teams. Not in the whole sitting really deep way, but in the hitting other sides on the counter, because that's what we're good at way. In addition to that, Somerville nearly scored a second goal on the transition as well, when he had a shot against the goalkeeper and tried to sneak it under him, but the goalkeeper was wise to it, managed to get low, deal with it very quickly. Fair play to him, he did really well. We also had one really weird chance where Somerville had so much space on the right-hand side. Piru was making a run up the middle, effectively unchallenged. Somerville didn't see the through ball, laid it off to Kamara on the outside, who ended up missing. That was a missed chance. I think in the first half, if we don't miss those chances, we walk away with it. All 3 points with ease. If we would have scored a second goal at any point within that first half, we would have sunk Rotherham because it only took 35 minutes for the home crowd to completely go against their side because of that one moment where we pressed them really well, like from the front, and they played it back into their midfield, back into defence, back to their goalkeeper, and every single step, the boos got louder, which shows that we were clearly doing something right. We were getting on the other side's backs. Rotherham were very aware of the danger that we hold in transitional moments and dealt with it by not letting us have those moments, by when they got the ball saying, okay, so we'll just hold it for a while, and when we try and attack, we'll send 1 or 2 people round the back and try and work with that. Rather than trying to flood into the box like we do, they just decided to keep a really deep structure, and whilst it makes for fairly boring football, I wouldn't like to be a Rotherham fan, sorry guys, it's effective, which isn't too fun, but it's fine. Also, I thought the referee made some really weird choices on some quite niggly fouls. This isn't the one where I'm talking about Dan James. I'll get to that one a little bit later. But there were weird ones where every once in a while someone would get their shirt pulled or someone would be pushed over, and the ref would either not see it or see it and think, this is the Championship, so it's completely fine. Very bizarre, and it's not a reason that we lost the match, but it sort of threw me a little bit. I noticed it in the first half, and it just continued as it went. And then we got a bit sloppy. And a little bit of sloppy football led to us conceding a goal, and that is where we sort of lost control of the match. At the same time, we were fairly fortunate to not concede a second immediately after half-time. in half-time, I'd run to Lidl and back to get some milk for a cuppa for Mrs. Last Word. And I come back hearing that apparently Liam Cooper has saved us from an almost certain goal, and I was very confused. Because for some reason Ampadu tried a diving header in his own penalty area. It felt like what happened was we lost a little bit of leadership and communication in that back four, and this happened against Rotherham. It happened against Plymouth as well, where a daft mistake led to a goal conceded. And at least off the top of my head, the one factor that combines the two is the fact that Pascal Struijk wasn't on the pitch. And I think this shows just how important he is to have as a player at the moment. This all contributed to us losing control of the match in the second half, which is a serious problem when we're a side that is trying to have possession, move it around, and create opportunities based on that. Sorry, bit of a hiccup. Whilst we were still holding a lot of the ball, it was a very structured game, and that's what Rotherham wanted. And that, I think, is why we brought on Bamford, Nonto, and Poveda, bringing off Rutter, Kamara, and Firpo. I think Rutter came off because he was tired, to be honest. Well, not tired, but still hurting from his injury. Kamara came off because we just needed a bit more of an attacking impetus, and Firpo came off because we were going to a 3 at the back, Archie Gray on the right-hand side as a centre-back. The man's versatility knows no end, and he's 17 years old. Rodon in the middle and Cooper on the left. Gray would drift into midfield when we were in possession. This was a very aggressive set of changes designed to make the game as transitional as we could. The idea being we throw people forwards, they see, okay, they've thrown a lot of players forwards, we can do the same and hit them on the break. And then the game descends into a scary game of ping pong where neither side is able to properly gain control of it, which would be absolutely perfect for us if Rotherham fell for it, and they didn't. This is the point where I ask a pretty important question, though. Should we have had a penalty? I would do a poll in the chat, but this is going to be a very quick live stream because the idea wasn't to live stream in the first place. This is just because my StreamYard recording broke. But I feel like we should have definitely had a penalty for that foul on Dan James that wasn't even given as a foul and was probably a red card. If you're going studs up and you hit the forward about here, there is no doubt that that is not just a foul. That is a red card. It doesn't matter what league you're in. Sunday League, completely unorganised park football, you're going to be told to fuck off if you do that. But EFL refereeing means that it wasn't even seen. It wasn't even given as a free kick. And again, we should have played better, and we can't blame the referee, but that's a little bit embarrassing for him, to be honest with you. He should have done better. We got a couple more substitutions as well. Liam Cooper looked a little bit hurt when he came off for Pascal Struijk. Dan James, I completely understand coming off for Jayden Anthony, because Dan James, when you take studs to the side of the leg, I get it. And Jayden Anthony managed to get a goal, we thought. It got disallowed because Patrick Bamford was very, very narrowly offside, a few inches. I can understand why he's thrown a foot at it just to try and get it under control. Anthony's done the right thing as well, trying to slot it home. Very unfortunate with it not being onside. At the end of the game, ended 1-1. And my ultimate thoughts on it are that it is very, very annoying to be dropping 2 points like that. If we want to go up automatically this season, which absolutely should be our aim, we need to be winning games like this. We need to break down sides like Rotherham. We can't let their game plan take over and overrun ours, because then we're playing their game and we're going at a bank of 5, then a bank of 4, and there's nothing you can really do. This match really showed how important keeping control can be, not just control of the ball, but control of the tempo of the match, our own game plan, and ultimately what happens throughout. Anyway, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the stream/video. It was intended as a video, I promise. It just got a little bit forced on me by StreamYard being a bit naff today. Subscribe if you're not already. Even drop a membership to the channel. And yeah, I think I'll be streaming at some point this weekend. Don't quite know when yet, though. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time. This is where I hope the end stream button works quickly. If it doesn't, then you're going to hear a lot of my words